Okay, it is 3:35. The December 2, 2020 meeting of the Faculty Senate is called to order. Each year, the president of the university is invited by the Faculty Senate to speak on the state of the university. This year, President Thrasher will be speaking to the Senate for the 6th time. The global pandemic has significantly changed how the university operates since President Thrasher's previous address 1 year ago. Probably the most obvious change is the fact that for the first time, this address is being delivered remotely with only a few of us here in person. I'd like to recognize a few members of the President's Cabinet who've joined us today, the distinguished faculty who've been invited and are present, and of course, First Lady Jean Thrasher. And of course, welcome to everyone who's watching this remotely. And now, please welcome the 15th President of Florida State University, John Thrasher.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. This is indeed a little bit unusual, and we, as Dr. Chicken said, but we'll do it. We're going to get it done. So good afternoon, and thank you, Dr. Chicken, for the introduction, and thank you again for your leadership and service on the FSU Board of Trustees, and certainly your leadership as President of the Faculty Senate. I want to thank several people, and I hope you'll indulge me in this because there are a number of people that I want to thank, and I know that gets maybe laborsome or boresome after a while, but I've got to do it, and we'll get through it, I promise you. But first and foremost, I want to thank the First Lady of Florida State University, my wife. She has been by my side through my entire career, which is, I look back and look at the legislature and practicing law and other things that I've done, and particularly, though, the last 6 years, as she has been an amazing First Lady of Florida State University. Thank you, Jean Thrasher. I appreciate you. Love you. Now I'd like to recognize some previous presidents of the Faculty Senate who I've had the privilege of working with that are here today, and I appreciate that more than I can tell you. Professor Gary Tyson, Professor Todd Adams, Dean Susan Fiorito. I appreciate all three of you, and of course Eric included in that, your counsel, your friendship, and your support during the time that I have been president of Florida State University. Also, I want to thank the Board of Trustees, my Board of Trustees, who continue to work hard on behalf of this university every single day, particularly Chairman Ed Burr and our entire board leadership and for their support. I want to also thank, and a particular shout out to the student body president, Jonathan Levin, for an incredible year that he has done in very, very difficult times in representing our students, and I thank Jonathan for that. I want to thank everyone on my senior staff. Many of them are here today. You've met or know them, I'm sure, from work that you have done over the years. Certainly, without exception, they're an incredible leadership team. Provost Sally McCroy, Vice President of Finance and Administration Kyle Clark, Vice President for Student Affairs Amy Hecht, Interim Vice President of Advancement Andy Johnji, Vice President of Faculty Development Janet Kistner, thank you, Janet, Vice President of Research, Gary Ostrander. Gary, thank you. And our General Counsel, Carolyn Egan. Chief of Staff and Associate Vice President for University Relations, Liz Hurst. Our former Associate Vice President for University Relations, Kathleen Daly, who left just this Monday to retire and pursue some other activities. Our Assistant Vice President for University Communications, Browning Brooks. And of course, my longtime friend and our Athletic Director, David Coburn. I'm glad that some of them could be here, and I appreciate the work that they do every single day on behalf of this university. I also want to thank Billy Francis for the excellent work he does for our student veterans and our ROTC units, as well as FSU alumnus and Seminole Tribe member Kyle Doney for being such a good friend to this university and representing and serving as a liaison between the Seminole Tribe of Florida and Florida State University. And of course, everyone knows that's in this room who've ever come to Westcott to see this president or the two previous ones that you really, if you really want to get something done, you need to call Cheryl Bacher. Cheryl has served as a special assistant to 3 presidents, including me, and I literally could not do this job without her, I promise you that. And I want to thank her for everything she's done for our university for so many years. She says that I'm the best president she's ever worked for, but I also heard Eric Barron and T.K. Weatherall say that she said that to them too. But I'll leave that as it may. I love you, Cheryl. Thank you for everything you've done for me and for our university. I'd also like to acknowledge a special person. I have given, in the 6 years that I've been here, over 800 speaking engagements, or done over 800 speaking engagements. Jill Ellis has helped me prepare for every one of those. I may have written a couple of notes on a couple of things, but she's helped me on that. And I know I couldn't do it without her, and our entire FSU communications team. Many of them are here today, and I appreciate the incredible work that they have done for our university and this particular president. And finally, I want to thank, certainly not least, the Faculty Senate for inviting me to your meeting. It's an honor and privilege to deliver what will be, I promise you, my last State of the University address. So if you'll indulge me today, I'd like to take a look back at some of the things that we have done over the last year, but also that we've accomplished together over the last 6 years. So let's start by looking at this video. I believe we're on the threshold, frankly, of a new era. We all have a role to play in this as this university continues to reach even higher. When I delivered this talk the last time, I said that Florida State University was on the verge of a major transformation. And what a transformative year it has been. We did it because we chose to invest in the heart and soul of this university, our students, our faculty. Those are our priorities, and if we put them in the right place, the rankings would follow, and they have. The word that comes to mind is resilience. It's rooted in the tenacity of spirit, something that is in our DNA, I believe, at Florida State University. Our strength not only pushes us forward, but it carries us through difficult times as well. I'm looking forward to the next year, to continuing to work, to reach out, to even higher and achieve even more. But we are one of the fastest rising universities in the nation. We've been able to hire more faculty, offer smaller classes, and reduce the student-faculty ratio. I'm very proud of our students for their resilience. This university is an institution that's built over the number of years on greatness, great faculty, great staff, great students who want to come here. I'm excited about the future for Florida State, but I'm also excited about my own future and what the next chapter brings. Well, thank you. I want to thank our communications staff for putting that together, and I really appreciate it. When I said I'm looking forward to the next year, last year, obviously I didn't know what I was talking about. But it's pretty amazing what we've achieved, and it's hard not to get a little emotional, frankly, when I think about how far this university has come and envision where we can still go. As I reflect on the past, I'm even more excited about the promise of the future. When I became president in 2014, we had some pretty audacious goals. We wanted to be recognized as one of the top 25 public universities. We wanted to raise $1 billion, expand our research enterprise, invest in our faculty and student success, just to name a few. I've never had any doubt that we would achieve them, but I certainly never could have anticipated all the ups and downs that were along the way. And I certainly would never have imagined that we would be finishing my term amid a global pandemic. But this pandemic, frankly, has reinforced many of the things that I already knew about the people of this university, that we're strong, that we're tenacious, and that we're resilient. When the history looks back on this moment in time for this university, I think it will see us at our finest. In many ways, the challenges that we have faced over the years, the shooting at Stroger Library, 3 hurricanes, the suspension of Greek life, the tragic loss of students, and certainly one of our faculty members, the gun violence that we've experienced, the traffic crashes, have all prepared us to respond to this pandemic. I say this a lot because I believe it's true. We really are a family at Florida State University. When push comes to shove, we all put in this and pull in the same direction. Our students, our faculty, our staff, every single one of us has had to make sacrifices, one way or another, to safeguard the health of others. And every single one of us has had to find new ways of doing things in order to ensure the success of this university. Our faculty in particular are some of the most creative, hardworking, and dedicated people I have known. You displayed your creativity, your flexibility, their ingenuity in March when we quickly transitioned to remote learning. For the faculty to convert 10,000 classes to remote delivery in just 2 weeks' time is an extraordinary accomplishment. And Janet, you and Sally had a lot to do that along with our great faculty leadership, but it was an amazing accomplishment. After a summer of online learning, we moved to a hybrid model this fall. We will continue to do that in the spring, I'm sure you're aware of. But once again, the faculty rose to the challenge. Whether it was putting on a mask, stepping into a classroom, logging onto Zoom 6 months ago or 8 months ago, I didn't know how to spell Zoom. Now that's all I do. And I'm sure you do feel the same way. Converting all your course materials to online, you remain dedicated and in doing so in the best interest of our students. In short, because of you, we've been able to continue to deliver, I believe, a world-class education for our 43,000 students. Of course, we could not have done it without our amazing staff who revised course schedules, cleared classrooms, cleaned classrooms, provided technical support, launched public health campaigns, and offered student services, and so much more. The COVID testing and contact tracing programs we have implemented in partnership with the Tallahassee Memorial Hospital, Capital Regional Medical Center, the Department of Health, I believe have been the key to our plan. I want to acknowledge Dr. Daniel Van Dermy, who could not be here today, who's on our is one of our faculty members in the College of Medicine, Chief Medical Officer of our Medical Advisory Group, Dr. Jim Zedeker, Director of the University Special Projects for Health and Emergency Operations, Dr. Emily Pritchard, who leads our contact tracing efforts, Associate Vice President of Human Resources, Renisha Gibbs, and our entire University Health Services team, especially our nurses who have contributed so much to protecting all of our FSU family. I'm convinced without their leadership, as well as the support and participation of the campus community, we would have had many, many more cases of COVID-19. I want to acknowledge again the College of Medicine, the College of Nursing, the Department of Public Health for the work that they have done on campus and certainly throughout our state. Our faculty have made extraordinary contributions to our response and understanding of the coronavirus. Let me give you a couple of examples. Last summer, we began considering the idea of opening our own laboratory based upon the research that Dr. Ostrander had done, to open our own laboratory on campus in order to process a large number of COVID tests and to have the results back in 24 hours. There was just one problem. Across the nation, there was a widespread shortage of testing supplies. That's when Jonathan Dennis, an associate professor in the Department of Biological Science, came forward with a solution. He developed a new testing procedure to get around the supply shortage, and the lab has since processed 50,000 tests among our friends on campus. Dr. Dennis is here, and I'd like him to stand and certainly be recognized and thanked for your great contributions. Thank you, sir. The faculty and staff of the Innovation Hub, along with colleagues at the Master Craftsman Studio, the Art Department, FSU Libraries, and the FSU FAMU College of Engineering also stepped up in the early days of the pandemic. When healthcare workers throughout our local community faced a shortage of PPE equipment and materials, our group developed a prototype to put their 3D printers to work to make 2,400 face shields that were delivered to local hospitals, physicians, and frontline workers. And I know for a fact Dr. Emily Pritchard delivered many of that 2,400, and we're very appreciative of that. Innovation Hub Director Ken Baldoff is here representing that incredible team. Ken, please stand up and be recognized. Thank you, sir. At the same time we were going through all of this, we were also dealing with another issue. America is reckoning with a different kind of epidemic. The murder of George Floyd in May brought to our forefront in our country and certainly in our state and even on this campus the systemic racism that I think touched our collective consciousness. We know we have a long way to go to achieve true racial equality and justice as a nation, as a community, and even as a campus. We must continue to listen, to learn, and to evolve, and to take action. An institution of higher education, as an institution of higher education, we can be leaders in this, in my opinion. I'm committed to making long-term changes to ensure that the Florida State University community is a place where every single person feels safe and is treated with respect and dignity. Last summer, I established the President's Task Force on Anti-Racism, Equity, and Inclusion to identify racial and ethnic disparities on campus and to implement a range of initiatives such as diversity and inclusivity training, enhanced recruitment and retention of students and faculty and staff from underrepresented groups. English professor, and I have to say my friend, Dr. Maxine Montgomery, is chairing the task force, and she and the subcommittees led by Associate Vice President of Student Affairs Brandon Bowden, Chief Diversity Officer and Director of Equality and Diversity and Inclusion, Michelle Douglas, is here, and History Professor Maxine Jones, who's not here, will submit some recommendations to my office as soon as next week. I know the work they are doing will lead to stronger and more just and equitable inclusion and a better future for all of us on this campus. Dr. Montgomery and Michelle, if you would please stand and be recognized. I appreciate all you're doing. You know, we also have, since the Florida legislature acted last year, a new nonpartisan Institute of Politics established by the legislature and housed in our FSU's outstanding College of Social Science and Public Policy. And it intends to showcase the role of politics in improving our lives and as Americans and encourage more civic engagement. That program is underway, and I look forward to many, many good things coming out of it. But it's especially important, I think, as we see both growing partisan politics across the nation and certainly rising student activism on our college campuses. This is a unique time in the history of our nation and certainly our university. In times of change, though, we are fortunate to have the steady influence of professors who have spent their entire careers here, including 7 faculty members who have been here more than 50 years. She wouldn't probably like me to say this about her, but I know she's here, and I want to congratulate her as one of the latest to mark her 50th anniversary of teaching at Florida State University, nursing professor Sally Carrioff. Over 5 decades, Sally has taught more than 26,000 students, and by the way, including Jean and I's 2 daughters. I'm sure she probably wished she could have taught me some things also during this last 6 years. But I'm glad she's here. I'm glad she's part of Florida State University, along with the 6 other faculty members who have spent their entire careers here. Sally, please stand up and be recognized. Sally's longevity, I think, says a lot about her loyalty and her dedication, but also says something about what a special place Florida State University really is. The world is beginning to realize that too. As you know, in September, Florida State University was ranked as one of the nation's top 20 public universities for the 2nd year in a row. I'm so proud of how far we have come. 2014, FSU was ranked 43rd in the nation, and we now have surpassed some of the finest universities in America. Our incredible rise in the rankings is due a lot to the hard work and forward thinking of many of the people across the university who developed a strategic plan, along with our Board of Trustees, that reflects, I think, our values and has guided our ways. It focuses on what we do best at Florida State University, helping students succeed and preparing them for the 21st century careers. The plan also concentrates on expanding our research enterprise, strengthening our entrepreneurship and innovation, deepening our commitment to diversity and inclusion, and certainly investing in excellence and our reputation. When it comes to student success, we continue to have some of the best graduation and retention rates in the country. In fact, a record 95% of our freshmen return for their sophomore year, a rate that places us in the top 15 among universities, public universities in America. And now we just found out, through the great work of Rick and Burnett and others, that we have a 74% rate of students who graduate in 4 years. I will tell you that will be the highest in the state of Florida and one of the highest in the country for a 4-year public university. And thank all of you, all the members of the faculty who have helped contribute that and guide our students through the pathways of success for their future. Our Panama City campus is also doing its part to provide opportunities for student success. Launched in October, the new Panama City Promise Scholarship Program provides free tuition to students in Northwest Florida who have a combined family income of less than $50,000. And I want to thank Randy Hanna for the great work that he's done in that regard. Graduate student enrollment, Dean Mark Riley, a hallmark of any great university, I believe, is how we do in graduate enrollment. And we're at an all-time high, and we're advancing our goal to strengthen our academic and research excellence through groundbreaking studies, original scholarship, and creative endeavors. We were great last year. Mark has even taken us to a higher level this year in the number of applications for graduate work. Past year, Florida State University's faculty research received more than $250 million from federal, state, and private sources, a new university record. Thank you, Gary, for your great work and your team and all the people who are involved in our research efforts. The funding is supporting research in a wide range of disciplines, from health sciences to engineering, and answering some of the many questions about the coronavirus. Our strategic plan also recognizes the value of FSU places on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have been named, again, a National Diversity Champion. We've received a Top Diversity in Higher Education Award for the 7th straight year in a row. We're also a leader in intercultural activities as well. This past year, 9 of our faculty members and 9 students received Fulbright Scholars and awards. And 9 must be the magic number because FSU is also ranked 9th in the country for the number of students who study abroad. I know many of you have been abroad and teaching over there, and I know we're all looking forward to a time when our students and faculty can once again travel abroad and conduct research and teach. We've also made some incredible progress in our goal to strengthen our commitment to entrepreneurship. thanks to the $100 million gift that we received in 2015 from Jan Moran and the Jim Moran Foundation, the largest gift in the university's history. Under the leadership of Susan Fiorito, Dean Susan Fiorito, the Jim Moran College of Entrepreneurship continues to grow and offer new graduate programs, including one that is in a partnership with the FSU's newest college, the Dedman College of Hospitality. And finally, our strategic goal to invest in our institution and our reputation is paying off. We're doing a better job, in my opinion, in communicating our successes and singing our own praises. We also have had tremendous alumni engagement and fundraising. As you'll remember, in 2018, we conducted the Raise the Torch campaign and concluded that campaign after raising $1.16 billion. Those funds supported 1,300 scholarships and 100 professorships. And the face of the campus has also changed since I became president. We've constructed new buildings in order to support our students, our faculty, and staff to pursue our strategic goals. The new Earth-Ocean Atmospheric Science Building that was opened in 2019 to accommodate our internationally recognized programs in meteorology, geology, and oceanography. We've added Magnolia and Azalea Halls to provide more modern accommodations for students who want to live on campus. We opened a Black Student Union in 2018, providing much-needed meeting space for one of our largest and most active student organizations. And construction, as you know, is currently underway on renovations to the Oglesby Student Union, and we will have, I believe, beginning in September, the first residential housing complex on our Panama City campus. All of these successes of the past 6 years, I think, point to a bright future. And I believe, with the proper support and funding from the Florida legislature, a top 15 ranking is in our sights, and I would not be surprised that we could get to a top 10 in the very near future. Of course, it won't be easy. It won't be easy. COVID-19 has had an impact on our state revenues, and I know some of you are concerned about the effect that this may have on our operating budget and on our faculty and staff in particular. I want to assure you, as long as I'm here, we will do everything possible to avoid any job loss. That's why we are currently under a hiring freeze, and our goal at FSU will always to protect the employees we currently have. I think we're ready to make our case for the 2021 legislative session, which will begin in March. Our legislators understand the importance of higher education for the state, and they know FSU in particular has a great return on their investment. We're asking the legislature for funding that will allow us to continue to improve our faculty-student ratios and enrich the talent pipeline for our great state. In addition, we're requesting support for our continued efforts to advance the FSU College of Engineering. We've made great and tremendous strides in raising the national profile of the college and the rankings under leadership of Dean Murray Gibson. And we're requesting funding obviously for our new College of Business building and the Interdisciplinary Research Commercialization building. I also, and Byron, I don't want this to be the top of the story, by the way, but I want to make the pledge to you one more time that I've made every year, that I will continue to fight any kind of campus carry legislation. We've all experienced enough heartache to know that more guns on campus do not make us safer. There are many challenges ahead. There are many challenges. But as we look back over our past, we can see that every success we've had is a result of obstacles that we have overcome. I want to thank you for the support you've shown me and this university. It's because of all of you that I can stand here today, I believe, and say I truly believe that the state of the university is stronger than it ever has been. I can't tell you exactly what this university will look like in the next 5 or 10 years. Our next president and his or her leadership team will guide it in a way forward, I believe. But I know that the work that we have done together over the past 6 years has established a strong foundation on which to build. We're fulfilling, I believe, our promise as one of the very best public universities in America, and I can't wait to see what we do next. A few months after my first day on the job, we held an investiture ceremony where I quoted President Robert Strozier in his 1958 inaugural address. He said, "This is not my university or your university, but rather our university. It belongs to the generations who have already given in their allegiance, just as it belongs to those who have yet to come." I've given Florida State my allegiance since I first stepped foot on this campus as a freshman in 1961. And I know all who have yet to come will love this university just as I have. It's our university, and it's been my distinct honor and greatest joy to serve as its 15th president. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Get to work.
Thank you, President Thrasher. Senators, we will convene for our regular business meeting at 4:15 on Zoom.